everybody. Welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs. Let's talk Caleb Grill, the newest transfer added to the Mizzou basketball team. First, please guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. It's all Under the Arch Sports. Right. So Caleb Grill coming to Missouri from Iowa State. So he's a 6'3" guard. Originally from Mays, Kansas, basically the Wichita area, about 4 hours from Columbia. That was a little bit of a factor when he was deciding where to transfer to. He started his career at Iowa State, transferred to UNLV, joined up with Coach TJ Otzelberger, followed him back to Iowa State when he took the Cyclones job, and now he's with the Tigers. So, what is Mizzou getting? Well, you look at his stats a year ago. He played in 25 games, 22 starts, and he averaged 9.5 points per game, third leading scorer for the Cyclones. He chipped in 4 boards per game, and he shot 36.8% from 3. That is a particularly significant stat because three-pointers were 74.3% of all shots he attempted. That stat comes from Hoop Math. And he's your sharpshooting specialist. That's what he is. Now, if you're talking about Caleb Grill coming to Missouri, you have to address the fact that he was dismissed from Iowa State this past season. He was kicked off the team. So there's a couple of different aspects to this. First is the fact that he popped off and said the magic words to the coach, is what it certainly appears to be. He addressed it and said, this is almost verbatim, so bear with me, it might be a little bit off. So unfortunately, I said something that I regret that cost me the opportunity to finish my dream at Iowa State. So, said the magic words to the coach, got the boot. Now, the other side of this is the fact that he kind of opened up about having some struggles with mental illness. As far as what was going on, he said that he hopes one day he's brave enough to share it. He did say that, he was glad that he had the support of family and friends, and that without that, he may have done something that really affected their lives. You can read between the lines on that one. I will not speculate any further. But yeah, he mentioned that he'd come out with kind of different hairstyles and antics on the court and so forth. And all of that, he said, was a way to kind of distract himself, get his mind off of where he was off the court mentally. So, I think given all of that, I think you're willing to give a guy like that a second chance. And I think part of what attracted Grill to Mizzou was Gates dealing with Isaiah Mosley this past season. And we still don't know the circumstances of that. We may never know them. But whatever was going on, there are those who think it was along the same lines. Maybe, maybe not. Some sort of personal struggle. And Gates proved that he will work with a player on that. And that had to be a factor in Grill's decision making. It just had to be. I'm sure of it. Now, we talk about it every time with someone in the transfer portal. The recruitment is so much quieter than a high school kid because some of these high school kids are soaking it in and love the attention. The transfers just want to get it done and find a place to play. So what that means is we don't hear as much. We knew that Grill was looking at Missouri and West Virginia. That's really all we know. He visited both, and he saw both environments, both arenas on game days, right? So in Morgantown, part of Big 12 play. And remember, Iowa State visited Mizzou, part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. So he got to see the game day environments of both campuses. So I look at his film, all right, and there's 3 things that stood out to me. The first, he catches the ball ready to shoot, particularly outside the three-point line. 3/4 of his shots are from out there, right? So if he gets the ball outside the 3-point line, he's ready to pull it. So he's always a threat. And what that does is that reputation and that ability, that will pull defenders in close because they know that he can catch and shoot immediately. And what that does is that creates the opportunity for a shot fake, dribble to the side, wide open three, right? So he showed the ability to pull that off. The video that I looked at was really, really good. And it showed that he was shooting 42% from three, for the left elbow extended. So I think that might be his most lethal area, is that part of the arc. So we'll see if that was a 1-year thing or if that is his hotspot. A guy like Grill is never going to get all these, spot up threes, catch and shoot type things if you don't have good movement off the ball. He moves off the ball. So what that means is, yes, he's going to move, come off picks, and catch and shoot. But he also showed the ability inside the arc to maybe make a quick backdoor cut, Princeton style, and find himself wide open for a layup. He did show that. So that's good. Now, for Mizzou, Grill is the third transfer since this season ended, and all backcourt guys. Missouri is, I think, done with the backcourt. Just looking at the makeup of the roster, I mean, that kind of goes without saying. Anybody else added to the roster at this point, you'd expect to be a rebounder. So that's where the roster is. Grill's going to have 1 year of eligibility for Missouri. And think of what Missouri has from three. You're talking about losing Demoy Hodge and even Dre Golston, but you have Caleb Grill, 3/4 of his shots are three. You have John Tonje and his ability to hit the three. Tamar Bates as well. And then you even go to Nick Honor. He hit some huge threes down the stretch. He didn't shoot as much, and we heard multiple broadcasts where the announcers mentioned how Dennis Gates thought that Honor was too unselfish and needed to shoot more. So I don't think you're ever going to have a lineup with all four of those out there at the same time. But the point is, even if they're not, it's not like if you take out Grill, all of a sudden you're not able to shoot 3-pointers. In comes Bates or whoever. So no matter what the lineup is out there, there is a 3-point shooting threat pretty much at all times for this Mizzou roster. So that's great to see. That's all I wanted to talk about, guys, with Caleb Grill. Third Mizzou transfer. Mizzou probably adding 1, maybe 2 more. We'll see. In the meantime, keep it tuned here to Under the Arch Sports. We've got Cardinals coverage. We're going to have a Blues video, kind of a season wrap-up. We'll keep an eye on City SC. We'll talk about the Battlehawks as their season comes to potentially an end unless they can, make playoffs. That's it, guys. Thanks for checking us out. Under the Arch Sports.